Comadre. How are
Hey,
you?
Comadre.
How are you? Es la Macias entre las Garcias, right?
Super excited to be here because we're kicking off the series of the Hey Comadre podcast, and you're watching it here on RadioCrystalUSA.com as well as listening to it online, and we have it on Instagram right here because you get a chance to watch the shenanigans in the background, in the back scene. And I want we have something in our hands for our listening audience.
Mm-hmm.
What do we have in our hands?
So
we
this
have
is the
today's topic.
The infamous red flag.
Red flag.
So red flags. What does this mean to us? Red flags.
Well,
Yes.
It means a lot of things, and it's going to be a great show, Marianne, because you know what? One of the biggest topics that I get when I'm the serial dater here. One of the biggest topics.
Oh my God.
But let me tell you something. Stories for days, but
Yes.
great stories. But I get a lot of red flags. And when I talk about the red flags, I get a lot of like, wow, that's really immature of you. Am I really immature? We'll talk about that as the show goes on.
But before we get started with talking about our red flags and what we've come across, we want to take a moment just to pause. For those of you that are listening outside of Houston, Texas, it's a nationwide story now that's going on. And we want to take a moment to, send prayers, send words of encouragement to the families in Uvalde, Texas. Who have lost their loved ones, their children, 14 children, I believe.
14.
And a teacher. Yes. And unfortunately, a person came into the school with a weapon and ended the lives of 15 souls. And we want to just take a moment of silence and for these families. Thank you. This means a lot because I'm an educator by day, but today we're going to come back and talk about life.
It's true. And so many things happen, but our hearts and our prayers and our thoughts are with all the families and here in Houston, all our educator friends, all our students, staff, faculty in schools. It's almost over. School's almost over.
It's almost
so
over.
Look forward, push forward.
Keep on going.
Yes.
Adelante.
There we go.
Adelante. That's right. Yes. And that's what this is about. And that's what we're going to be talking about today is adelante.
Oh,
like that segue,
like a segue. Even though when we come across the red flags, and we talked about last time, like, what is your red flag? What is your red flag? What is my red flag? I got tons, but we don't have a lot of time for all this.
We do not.
There's just a list of them.
There is. But as somebody who, all of us who are out and about, we also talked to a lot of great friends of ours this past week or weekend, and that was our biggest topic. Like, what is your red flag? Well, let's start off with the definition. Go for it, Comadre. What is a red flag?
Hold on a second, really quick, guys. Everyone, parental discretion is advised. Send the kids to sleep. A la cama, ya. It's time to go to sleep. Please.
Shouldn't they be in bed already?
They should already be in bed. And if they're not, send them to bed because we're about to discuss. Their little ears do not need to listen.
No.
Okay?
So parental discretion
is totally advised.
All right, ladies.
And these are just our opinions, FYI.
Yes.
Let's go.
First of all, what is a red flag? What is a red flag? Let's define it.
Okay, so for me, a red flag is what stands out, what's like, I'm going to stop. I don't want to move forward. That's the red flag to me. And so that's my red flag.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually in any situation, whether it's dating, whether it's in
personal and
professional. Red flag is just, for me, it just makes me stop in my tracks and reevaluate situations.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
The famous question: what is your red flag? I'll kick it off. Okay. Sounds a little bit immature. I discussed this, but let's start this with the red flag. And again, if we've gone out and you're watching the show,
this is towards you.
No, I'm just joking.
The guilty parties' names will not be.
What are the names disclosed?
Okay, if
to
you
protect the innocent.
Exactly. If I see you that you are active on social media, even if you're active or not, but those that are active on social media, which is basically so many people, and great. Social media is a great tool, right?
Yes.
But if you go out with this person, say for dinner, and it is considered a date because it's been established that this is a date, and for whatever reason, they let's take a picture or something's happening, or You're taking a picture of the food and the person goes,
That's a red flag.
They're leaning out of it.
referee.
Let's throw the red flag.
See, the reason behind that is that, yes, people do live a private life.
Mhm.
I do. And that there are so many things that I do that I do not post. I tend to post more of the things that we do. But sometimes as friends or relationships or even going out to dinner,
Mhm.
you take a beautiful picture, or I try not to. I always ask if it's okay. But here's the thing, on the last date I had. So the person takes the picture, says to me, let me send it to you and you post it.
Mm.
And I said,
Interesting.
Red flag. Red flag. We're
So
waving
then
the red
I
flags.
do get the picture. I don't post the picture. But
Mhm.
then I turn around and I said, so why don't you post the picture, right? You can tag me. We're friends on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
And he said, well, okay. And it never happened. I never questioned it. But what a red flag that was to me.
Oh, yeah.
Though many people watching, and we want to thank everyone who's tuning in today for a red flag.
Yes.
But the thought is, yes, it may sound immature. You're probably sitting there like, Ilsa, really? No, really,
Really.
because those that are free from any relationship or anything holding them back are going to want to go out and share an experience.
Even if it's
And
just
I-
a friendly date.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
It
we're
shouldn't
not
be a big
talking
deal that
about
you're sitting
a
and-
photo shoot
No,
or
it's
anything
just,
of that
hey,
sort. It
we're having
just so
dinner.
happens that, oh, I love that. And if you know that you are going out with somebody who
I
is
got
very heavy on social media, that takes a picture even of the Coke they're about to drink,
Mhm.
Which
then
I like to refer to as a Facebook whore.
That-
Es para lista.
right.
Yes.
But then all of a sudden you stop. And then, ladies, let me tell you something. Do you question how you look? Do you question who you are at this point? I hate to sound that way. Because then you start thinking, do I look okay? Or is this person embarrassed? It's not. Don't question yourself. It's
Never.
to me, it's a
Red flag. We're waving the
Either
flags right
something's
now.
going
Yeah.
on, you have,
Waving
and
the
I'm
red
not
flag.
saying that you're not dating other women
And
or
that's
anything of that
fine.
sort.
And that's fine.
But let's do this. Let's put our phone away.
Mhm.
Don't send me a picture. Tell me to post it. First of all, I don't work for you. I'm not your secretary.
Exactly.
And
Right.
then
I'm
and
not
a
your
second
personal
thing,
assistant.
if
She's
you
not a
cannot
secretary.
come out,
Not
and
a
if you
secretary.
are with someone, you know what? Hold on to that relationship. I think that would be better for you. Because again, as we started the program 3 programs ago, we're dating with a purpose. My purpose is to eventually get married.
Yeah.
So let go of that red flag.
Let go of the red
That's
flag.
my red flag.
Yeah. What's your
So I have two that just came up that are really prominent right now, and I'm wearing green because not only I want to at some point where are the green flags? Because I love to frolic in the red flag garden. I am recovering from gathering up all the red flags I can see and just come home and make an arrangement at home.
With all the red
and I'm
flags.
smelling the little red flags like the flowers. I'm gonna help you. Oh, you didn't mean that,
Oh
or
my
maybe you
God.
meant that.
But
or,
oh well.
oh well, it's because of this. Always giving them all kinds of
making up excuses for the red flag.
exactly.
Always.
So like picture someone in the meadows picking up daisies, and I'm
She's
the one
picking up
picking
red
up
flags.
fucking
That's
red
her.
flags.
She is our
I
social
am
butterfly.
recovering from that, and I've had a lot
So-
of support. So
What is your main red flag?
my two, I got two, girl, because you just said
Opened up
something
the-
that
opened
opened
up
up
the
the
gates.
red flag Pandora box. First one is when you're out and the person's like, I forgot my card. Do you
Oh
think you could
God.
pay? And I'll pay you back the next
No,
time I
man.
see you. And I'm like,
okay,
red
So
flag.
this is the thing. Let me just say this.
No,
When
but
you-
I'm not done yet.
Oh,
Let me
yeah,
finish.
yeah,
Okay, I'm not done.
finish.
So
So
I'm
I have
like,
to piggyback off that.
So that means that you don't want for someone to see on a statement that you bought some food somewhere, and it's like, whoa, you buy a lot of food at Subway. Not that we were Subway, but whatever.
Right.
Why are you at this restaurant? And then another thing, they carry cash.
Oh,
That was another red.
Interesting.
So,
I never
so there was
that.
one. So it's a combo red flag. I'm like, you
Claudia,
don't bring
I
out the card because you forgot your wallet. How the fuck do you forget? Where's your wallet at? And the other one is like,
Ah.
wow, you got a lot of cash on
Dang,
you.
Claudia,
Dang,
that's
that's
a
yeah.
good one.
That's a
good
good
one.
red flag.
You don't want to leave a trail. Another red flag too about the pictures are they never take a picture with you. Period. Like,
Oh,
red
period.
flag.
Yeah, that's a red flag for sure.
like I will initiate, like, hey, let's take a picture. But every time we'd hang out or do something, they never
Never wanted to.
initiated taking a picture with you.
Interesting. I'm still with the wallet thing though.
Yes,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
back. Go back to the cash. The trail.
Dude, you know what? That I had never thought of that.
Dun, dun,
That never even occurred to me.
We're like, this is not a red
Claudia,
flag. This is a red
colcha.
flag.
This is a red colcha. Okay.
This is a big red flag.
Right? Oh my
Marianne
God.
Garcia, red
Go for
flag.
it.
My red flag. You know what, guys? You know what I absolutely cannot stand? When, we're single, right? Give me this. You know what I cannot
She's a red
stand is whenever they're posting. We're like, let's say we're at dinner or something, right? And they're posting, or they're like taking a video, but it goes on the story. It doesn't go on their actual
page.
On their page, like their page.
Oh, because the story disappears.
Because the story disappears, and not only that, you can pick and choose who can see your story.
Oh.
That's a freaking
colcha.
a
Red
colcha. I hate
We're
that.
waving the red flags.
I hate that.
Yeah.
So now listening to these red flags, they basically go around, except for Claudia, but very heavily, to social media. But you know what? And people may be out there watching and saying, girls, that sounds very vain,
Yeah.
But you know what?
But-
Those are little small things that we have to listen
Pay
to.
attention.
Your gut, your
Yes.
sixth sense, right?
Because we have that intuition.
Mhm.
Women have that intuition, but you know what? Not only women, I'm sure men
Men
have
do
that
too.
intuition
Yeah.
too. But you know how they say, trust your gut.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to trust your
Yes.
gut because your gut is always telling you
Yes.
something. It doesn't just come out of nowhere, And we have like that inner sense in
Yeah.
us,
But you know what, though? Even though we say this, there are men like that. But then, you know what? We've been blessed with other great men that have become boyfriends, past boyfriends, ex-boyfriends, for whatever reason. But, that not every man is like that.
Thank
But
God
those red
there
flags
isn't.
is what really holds you,
Yeah.
to really analyze and look.
Right.
Yeah.
And I totally feel you when you say that we make excuses for red
Mhm.
flags,
Yes.
right? But
Yeah.
call them out on those red flags.
Yes.
To our listeners and our viewers, do y'all have any red
What
flags?
red
What do y'all
flag?
think?
What's
Let's
the
talk
red
about it.
flag?
So
Monica, what does
Monica
it say?
Vasquez. My
Vasquez.
red flag is a guy that only has females on social media and only communicates via Snap.
Yeah, because
Also,
Yes.
never post their women, so everyone thinks you don't exist.
Yes, Monica, thank you for that. Or you know what really is annoying to me? When there's a whole the girl, you have social media girls or friends on social media that are girls with your partner, but they're not friends with your girlfriend. You know what I mean? So if we're a couple, why can't we all be friends? If there's nothing to hide.
You know what, Marianne and Claudia, comadres,
What?
biggest red flag in the world.
Okay.
And this happened to me a few years ago.
Por ahí.
Let's just say that.
Okay.
So one of the biggest, this man was a chatterbox from 9 a.m. all the way to 5, working hours.
Oh.
Yeah.
Texting, how are you? How is work going? How was your day?
Yes.
Hit 5 o'clock, dead.
Nada.
Dead.
That's because he was going home to the
You're going
girlfriend,
home
to the wife,
going home to your
whomever.
married life, I'm
Yes.
assuming, or a relationship or whatever that
Mhm.
was. But a chatterbox. Then I was like, well, what? Oh, I fell asleep. I need
My behind, you fell asleep.
But you know what? Those are amazing red flags that really,
Don't
really
ignore
help you.
those.
Don't
No.
ignore any of
No.
that. And you know what? I
No.
love what you said though, because for the back there is there is
Mhm.
greatness,
Yes.
but also for us women, how great an opportunity is that we learn these red flags. The older you get, the more
Yes.
the
Oh my gosh.
more how should I put it? More sensitive and
Aware,
assertive,
astute.
More
astute
aware.
to these red flags. And now it has become the game of the red flag.
The red
Mhm.
flags. Actually, we should probably carry a red flag in our blouse when we are out with someone. And if
Hey,
they
I'm
happen to do something, we're just gonna go like this. Just wait. Whoops.
My bad.
Sorry. Whoops. And they're gonna be like, "What's that? What that was?"
It's
that?"
a red flag.
It's like when you're watching the soccer game. You watch the soccer game. You see right away when they fuck it
Tarjeta
up,
roja.
and they
Tarjeta
tarjeta
roja.
roja, right? You see the football games, they throw the fucking flag. I mean,
So-
why don't we do that? Like, you're in the middle of dinner, they don't want to
Who
take a
said we
picture.
can't do that?
Just take out the flag, and they're gonna be like,
Bye.
what's that?
Mhm.
Oh, well, you just did this.
So I'm really curious to see if a man is watching us right now.
Yes.
What
We
do
want
they
your-
consider a red
a
flag? I am so curious to see, because we are very astute into a man's like, he
Mhm.
won't call,
Mhm.
after 5,
Mhm.
or
Text,
he won't
communicate.
text, or
Mhm.
let's say he won't do this, or
Mhm.
the whole. Okay, I love the whole money situation. I
Yeah,
would have never
even
thought of that.
about that. I never
Cash
even thought
only,
about that.
ladies.
Oh my gosh.
And so
that is
now
so
I'm
cool.
thinking, okay,
Now you're
this
looking
is
at your
not- you're like,
dates where they
wow.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So why do you carry cash? Hey, and you know what? I've gone on a couple of dates
where
where
they carry
they
cash.
only carry cash. I'm like,
Mm.
why do you carry like a wad of cash
Why?
like that?
Okay.
Like,
Huh,
and
interesting.
Claudia,
I mean,
now you got me thinking. Like,
it-
what the hell?
It could be that they can't get into a bank.
If they can't
But
get into a
then
bank, then we don't need
But
to be
then
dating.
exactly.
We
They're
don't need- I
scared.
don't need to be dating you if you don't have a bank
No.
account.
But you know what? Who carries cash nowadays?
I don't
Everybody
ever
is
carry
with
cash.
the
Ever.
So
carry
that's
cash.
why, I mean, to go out of your way to look for an ATM, to risk your life of getting
Risk
jumped,
your life.
of getting your cash out, and then go, that, you know,
that has to be a
that
red
has to be a red flag. I
flag.
mean, they're really working
I mean,
really
if
hard
you're going,
and not getting caught.
So,
with someone
ladies,
saying,
look for the
¿A
Hey
quién
Comadre.
le compraste? Porque, when did you go to this restaurant? At what
What did-
time?
yeah, and why did you spend so much?
Wow.
If it was
Why
you?
is it $100 when it was just you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought you went on a business dinner. I thought it was a business dinner, but all of a sudden you would who
Dang,
paid for the
Claudia,
business?
you like
Dang, Claudia. But you know what? Look for our merchandise. Red flags. Hey, Comadre.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
I
Oh,
love
yeah.
it.
I'm gonna a red
Yes.
flower. It's gonna say a red flag.
We're
There's
gonna
no
start.
flag
We're gonna have
pointing out.
merch. Hey, Comadre merch.
It's on its
Hey,
way.
Comadre merch. I love
It's
it.
on its way.
But it's such an interesting topic of the
Yes.
red flags,
Mhm.
because we can go on forever. I have multiple red flags.
So
But-
somehow I believe you.
But you know
That's
what?
okay.
It's
How
okay.
many red flags?
My bouquet.
How many red
Mhm.
flags have really saved you
Yes.
from entering a bad situation?
You mean
That's true.
You mean
You
when
know?
you acknowledge the red flag and you don't try to fix the red flag?
Right.
Well, don't try it. Okay, so that's a
No, I know that's a whole.
that is a whole other topic.
That's a whole. But let me tell you, that is where I am recovering from. Is
trying to
not going and fixing the person's red flag
Uh-huh.
situation.
let's talk on that subject, because this is a hot topic.
Mhm.
That is a
You
hot
know,
topic.
let me tell you something about fixing somebody.
The
Mhm.
Captain Save a Hoe.
No.
Captain Save a Hoe. We don't want to be that, guys.
Yes.
Well, at what age? Okay, so I've always heard or seen, and they've always said, but you know what, Ilsa, you can never fix a man
No.
or make make them to what you ideally want them
No.
to be.
Mhm.
So what age does that stop, guys? Because as young, okay, so if you date somebody who is under 30, which I wouldn't, right? But I'm saying
Mhm.
under 30, no offense to anyone, but I'm older.
Well, we all are. I mean,
Right. But saying, would you try to fix maybe his little demons that he
His
has,
little
you know? Or is there a certain age where you're just like, I saw the red flag, hey, I'll catch you later, because I'm not dealing with that.
you know what? I kind of, in my opinion, is like, if it's a red flag, and I'm not your therapist. I can't fix you.
100%.
I can't fix you. You have to fix yourself,
Mhm.
or at least try to fix yourself, or be very open about you trying to fix yourself. Hey, I'm very aware that these are my issues. I'm trying to work on them. So okay, cool.
Yeah.
But I'm not
Yeah.
gonna fix it for you. I'm
No.
not a therapist.
But
I
how
know-
tired are you in life to take on okay, say that you do meet a man, and for those
Mhm.
watching, man or woman,
Mhm.
that you do meet somebody and you invest time.
At what point?
At
is
what
that- yeah,
point
check
is
out.
it? How many years do you invest in
Years.
trying
No,
to
no,
forget?
years.
Yeah, some people do have years.
Actually,
too,
yes.
because
there are
somebody
people
doesn't.
that do.
Because somebody will not change. You know how you say when you get on a diet, you have to wait 3 months to see if
Yeah,
you lost weight.
yeah.
Well, how long do you wait to see if that person will change?
No.
And do you have time?
No.
And it goes back to, how do you date?
Yeah.
I date with the purpose.
I date with a purpose.
I date with a purpose. I do want to get married. I do want to live a great life. I do live a great life already, right?
But that's where the transparency comes in the very beginning. And so like when we talked about this, a few shows before where, in the very beginning, if you're transparent about your intentions, hey, it could be intimidating for some, but at the end of the day, if you're intimidated by what I'm looking for in somebody, then we don't need to be dating anyways, because you're not looking for a relationship. You're not
100.
looking for what I'm looking for,
Is a matchup.
Those
we're not aligned.
It's not
We're
an
just
alignment.
not aligned.
It's not an alignment, and that's okay. But like you said, you have to be very intentional in the beginning.
Mhm.
If your intent is not to find someone for the long run, and it's just for the evening, then that's your intent.
And you're fine. And
If
who cares
your
about the
intent-
red
Who cares about the
flags?
red flags?
Wear the red flag. Wear the red
Who
flag if
cares
you
if
want.
they pay cash? Who cares if
And that's for that
When
moment.
we get you.
But then on the flip side, if you're like, okay, well now this is someone that I think, then it's how you approach it and where you're at, I guess.
Right.
Because there's I got all kinds of plans in life, and people are like, well, what about you? I got plan A, B, and C. A is, that there is that fish out there somewhere, and it's not that funky. And
It's not that
plan
funky.
B is bueno pues, just find someone that's gonna be there, and you're just gonna like whatever every so often, and nothing serious.
Goes back to the huevos in the basket.
You got a big old basket of
Of
huevos,
huevos.
and every so often you just take them out and you play with them and
True.
you put them back.
You play with the huevos.
And then the third one is I would like to have a sorority Golden Girl house where we
yes,
just
I
chill.
remember, yes.
we chill,
Yeah.
we have wine, and if anybody has huevos coming in, you just
You put a sock on the door.
You just hang your red flag.
You put your red flag
on the
doorknob.
And you know what? And you just like wear muumuus all day when you're not at work, or if you're not whatever, just having a Golden Girl sorority house.
And who's gonna be Blanche?
So, hey, comadre.
We are bringing in one of our members of our PR team who's also going to be coming in every so often to do topics caliente.
Hot topics, Angelica.
I want to make sure we can hear you. So turn it up, connect it, because you're muted right now. So we want to make sure you're unmuted. But she's up in Arkansas, and we're going to have her come in and just participate for a few minutes and just give us the lowdown on some red flags. So she's going to get adjusted. But until we get her connected, just once again, red flags. My question is this.
Can you hear me?
Yes. We're going to connect with you real quick. But real quick, when we come back, I want to know, maybe you would know, maybe, I don't know about you.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay.
So Angelica, we would like to know about your red flags. We talked about ours. And then after our red flag, comadreo, I would like to know at what point, why do some of us accept red flags? Where did I get in that point in my life
we're
that it's
settling.
okay
I can't hear
that
you.
So, Angelica,
She can hear us.
oh,
Okay, so les tengo una pregunta. I see your red flags. First of all, ladies, congratulations. Oh my God. It's in the works. You guys are amazing. You know that I love whatever it is that y'all are doing. I love it. Muchas felicidades, felicidades, felicidades. Okay.
thank
Now,
you.
hearing the red flags, and I was reading a story. Do you believe in love at first sight? And do you forget all those red flags?
Yes.
Yes. Las tres, yes.
We all
Yes.
are waving yes.
Hold on. Yeah, where's the yes?
We got the red going right here.
But I don't think it's love at first sight. It's connection at first
It's
sight.
No, it's
Connection.
infatuation at first night.
it
First,
could- it
I
could
mean,
be.
First sight. I think.
Okay. Bueno, there are so many stories out there. There are plenty of stories out there that suggest that when you start seeing the red flags, it doesn't even matter anymore.
At that
The red flags of whether he puts you on social media, whether he takes a picture with you. Porque the idea is that when you're in love, and there's doctors out there that have these studies, when you're in love, you're in love. It doesn't even matter if he said, hey, we're going to take the picture. There becomes a moment where you start seeing beyond those red flags, where you start looking at things the way they're not.
Yeah.
So
You're
when do
blinded
you
by
stop?
love.
When do you stop with the red flags?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one too.
Pregunta.
That's a
When
well,
do you
asked
start?
me? Oh.
When do I
You left
stop
us-
with the red flags? Maybe after the If it moves on to a fourth date, I stopped looking at that red flag situation, and unfortunately, I start making excuses for that.
Yeah.
Maybe if I go on a sixth date, things will change. Maybe 4 months from now, things would change. But then, darn it, those red flags keep on popping up.
Well,
So, yeah.
well, that's what I'm saying. At some point, is this a person you want to build with, or is that your intention? Or maybe you want
Exactly.
to switch your
Yeah.
intention to maybe that's just an egg you want to take out every so often, put it back.
But then there's that whole love at first sight
There's
or
no,
connection
yeah,
at first sight.
exactly.
So,
So I mean, again, it goes back to like, if it's love at first sight or whatever you want to call it, then you're blinded by the love, and so those red flags just go out the window, and it doesn't matter anymore.
So should you have a red flag coach?
ooh, I love
So
that.
like when this one is still like on date 4 or month 6, and we're like in the back over like this.
Maybe that might work.
Because
That might work. You know, there are a lot of love coaches out there that you ladies can definitely like just be guided by.
Yeah,
And but who knows?
Where's
But you know
this
what?
at? When we need it.
I just need an app on my phone that when it senses a red flag, it's gonna zap me.
It's gonna shock me.
Like
It's
a
gonna
dog
shock
collar.
me. Like, hey, no, red
Red
flag.
flag. Like look the
Yeah,
other way.
yeah, don't. I mean, I'm sure I've entered into situations where, I'm like, there's so many good I can bypass or I can overlook the few,
But why would we, right?
because then that would just be like too easy, right?
Yeah.
That would just be too,
I
and then we
know.
would not be we would be uncomplicating our life if we did it that way.
So one thing that has helped me is, do you see that person with your kids? Do you see them as an integral part? Do you see them as someone in that scenario? Because one thing is me on my own going on dinner dates, whatever, hanging out with that one person, but I don't bring them around, right? But then someone said do that. And then also the second part
Ask
would be,
yourself.
what if it was your daughter being given that treatment? Would that be okay? Once I started looking at it that way, that's what really made me like, I had to get my little bouquet of red flags and just kiss them goodbye one at a time.
Angelica, what is your red flag? Well, you're married already, but what was your red flag
was
prior
your
to
red
being
flag?
married?
Ladies, I'm already married.
That's what I'm
Ladies,
saying, prior to being
ladies,
married.
congratulations. No les quiero quitar mucho el tiempo. I want to, again, congratulate y'all. I'm already tuning in. For those who don't know, these ladies are awesome. Congratulations again. And I hope to come on just a few more times talking about hot topics. I love these conversations. Again, felicidades.
Thank
Bueno.
you.
Thank you. Have fun.
Be careful out there. See you soon.
Bye.
So
Bye.
we're about to close it up, but before we go, we do have a man who has given his red flag.
So what is this red
Share
flag?
it. Someone read it from here.
It says women that don't put their phone down when on a date.
Perfect.
Ooh.
That's actually a really
That's a
good
good
one,
one.
Ramon. Thank you for bringing that
Ramon,
up.
I love that. Hi, Ramon.
Yeah.
This is
Look, this is another friend.
Mandy,
Oh, so
what's
this
your
is
red flag?
Milton. It says there's a difference between having flaws and working on them versus having them and not being able to understand that there are flaws. Interesting. Okay. Wow, you're making your
But I love
lust
that.
at first sight.
I mean, that's
true.
part of it.
Look, Milton,
infatuation, lust, all that.
yeah.
And then that fades away, and then you see the real deal. Like, ooh.
But by then it's like too late because you're invested.
Mira, Monica said something like,
Sometimes I look past the red flags because the feelings I've
There you
developed and
When
then
you
start
start to
making
make
excuses.
excuses.
That's so true.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a victim of that. Like I do that. I'm not a victim of that, but I'm very like I do that. Like
I am a big doer of what she just posted.
okay,
right
I
now.
always try to see the good in people and and my biggest fault.
And that is my biggest downfall.
Yeah.
But going back to how many times do you have to go out this particular person that you see those red flags that are blatant red flags that you say to yourself, is it really should I pursue this connection?
I mean, they're already in therapy,
Listen, went on a date. Oh, I always start all my conversations when I went on a date.
She's always on a date, guys.
Yes, went on a date. And here it was, a great connection, great person, great conversation, good man. I mean, just really, really great. But that red flag came up, right?
Yeah.
A red flag that I had. And I said, interesting. I let it go because, like Claudia says, you want to see the best in everyone, right? And because it's only fair. Because who are you to be a judgmental? Because they can fall into a judgmental area, right? And I don't want to judge. You're
so
probably
true.
like letting go of the love of your life because you saw that one particular
But
red
if they're
flag.
meant to be the love of their life, they
You
will
know
come.
what,
They will come
guys?
back.
I'll finish the date this way,
okay,
just
go
really
ahead.
quick. So then the date ends. I go on 4 dates with this guy.
Oh.
But guess what? That particular red flag, it was different from the posting. It was just something really, really particular, right? It lasted the 4 days. He was a great person, but that red flag followed for 4 dates and it never went away.
Really?
Great conversation, great person. Just immediately we matched, but that red flag was troubling.
It's still there. Woo! One just came up when you talked to someone mentioned about the phone.
The right person will be the right person from the start.
Yeah,
I agree, Milton. I agree.
I don't know.
I agree.
I don't.
Because I feel like when you know, you
That's
know.
two red flags.
Yeah.
One red flag.
But this is, you know.
But then we're okay.
Yeah.
Here's one thing. Ramon talked about the phone. To me, it kind of made me think of another red flag that it really gets to me is that
Upside down.
has it ever happened to you where the person they pick up their phone and they go and they're like this.
Yes.
They're looking at it real, and I'm demonstrating for those who are listening on the podcast. I'm demonstrating that the phone is like literally like an inch from your face, and I'm like, this mofo is not that old. You shouldn't be holding it that close. And then when you kind of lean over to like
It's
say
like,
something,
like,
and they kind of go like to the side, like they flinch. I'm like, what are you? What
are you hiding?
hiding?
What are you hiding?
That just brought
Give me your phone.
a
Or
memory.
whenever sit down on a table and they immediately.
You know what? I do that, but you know why I do
Why
that?
do
Let
you
me
do that,
Okay,
Marianne
I
Garcia?
do
Face
that.
up, face down.
No, I
up,
do it
face
face
down.
down, but let me tell you
Why?
why. Because if my phone is face up, right, and my notification pops up, I get curious and I want to see what it is. And so that I'm respectful to the other person, I don't want to just pull my phone and see what it is, right? Because that's it.
Yeah.
It's like impulse, you know? So I just
It's a drug.
It's
Your
But I
it's
think we
impulse.
must put it away to find
I-
that true
I-
connection. We must put it away.
Yeah,
So
that's an
I put
alternative.
I put
That's
my
an
phone in my
alternative.
purse. I
You
do.
put it. I put it in my purse.
I do.
But I have kids, guys. Well, not to say that
Well, I
you know,
have
you
kids
don't,
too.
but,
I do put my phone's ringer on and I
Mm.
put it in my purse. That I do. And but the thing is that now I have an Apple Watch that I bought for my comadre. So sometimes I'm like, ooh. And
So it becomes
I get my-
everything electronic, social media, and it just so happens that it's not only us; it's the entirety of the world that is obsessed with looking at something, and attention has gone from finding. How many times have we done that? And the love of your lives have maybe walked away.
Yeah.
And
And
you know that I could get booed up.
You don't know. You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't
If
know.
it's meant to be. It's meant to be.
Yeah,
That's
I
my
feel
philosophy.
I feel the same way.
So like today, you know, one thing, I don't know, it might be out of onda, but I started to observe behaviors. I started to try to get myself out of my feels and out of my thinking and over catastrophizing, like they're doing this because they're doing that. And just being a true scientist in a way and just observing. And that was given to me by Lilia Garza. And Lilia Garza is an amazing comadre.
Yes, she is.
So she's like, Claudia, stop getting into your feelings. Just start observing. Like you're a scientist. Observe their behaviors. Don't try to decipher it. Don't try to figure out just watch. So I've been watching certain people like a scientist. Like, that's interesting. And there's one thing that I observed today. This is just a friend, and it's a guy, and he took me out to lunch. Great person. And I observed this. He opened the doors for me for the car. I wasn't expecting that. We're just friends, right? Gentleman opened the door of his Land Rover and let me in. And she threw that in.
I like how she threw that in there.
Then we brand new one.
Yeah, a brand new
drove
one.
to
Was it white?
the rest black.
Black.
Drove with a black leather chair.
Okay,
Drove to eat lunch, and
Cabrón.
I took my phone out to pay, and I said, and I was first in line because I went down the line and I ordered my food and everything.
You did the Ilsa test?
I did their
She
test.
did it.
But this
She
is just
did
a
the
friend.
Ilsa
This is just a friend.
test.
But I'm observing behaviors. And so then I took out my phone to do the pay, you know, because you can pay with your phone. And then he took out his card and said, hey, like joking to the guy, do y'all have any teacher discounts? Because I had my little teacher badge on. And he was just doing it as a joke. And I go, no, I got this. You know, I thank you for coming to read to my students. And then he's like, oh, no, I got this. I'm like, oh. So I put my phone away, observing behavior. Had to go to the restroom to wash my hands. I put my purse down and he's like, oh, I got to wash my hands. I go, oh, yeah, me too. I'll just wait. He goes, no, you go first. I'll watch your purse.
Observing
behaviors.
But you became a scientist.
I'm becoming a scientist and seeing what is it? What do I deserve? What is it that should be happening? And what do I not settle for? And then he came back, got some I don't know what Perrier's, whatever the hell we drank.
Mineral water.
And then he was already drinking, and he said I came back, sat down, you know. Then I waited for him, and then we started eating, and then I was gonna get the napkin to clean the tapita so I can. But I was about to go like struggle. He's like, oh, I already opened it for you. I'm like,
oh wow.
Well, that's interesting. But you became an observer. Okay, and me on the other hand, and we'll end it because our time is almost up. She's an observer while I am rolling into this blank free. No pages, no nothing, a blank page. I'm just going with the flow.
I actually am the same way too, because I like to form my own opinion based on those initial first impressions, everything. And so,
absolutely,
you know what I mean? So I want to base my opinion off of the first impression of our first encounter, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing that. I'm not a person that will pay attention. So you're an observer.
And neither am I. This is a practice now that I'm doing.
Me, on the other hand, let's go out. Let's go. Let's see where life takes us. Let's just go see how it ends and how a blank page.
Yeah. No, I totally hear you. But I'm doing this now to be an observer because I need to make sure that I am not totally blinded by red flags. I'm trying to think about where do I see this with my girls? How does this work? But now we're going to come to the end of one of our amazing podcasts, Hey Comadre, here on RadioCrystalUSA.com. You get a chance to listen to it. You get a chance to watch it. And also go back to Apple. We're on Apple. You can download our podcast from there. It's also on Spotify. And we're here to comadrear on, what's the name of our podcast?
Hey Comadre!
With
Ilsa Garcia,
Marian Garcia,
and Claudia Macias. So join us next time, and we're going to be here for you, just comadreando. If you have any hot topics you would like to share or talk about, reach out to us.
Let us know. Let us know how you date.
That's right.
Yes, and we'll talk about it.
Adios.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in.
Mwah, mwah.
Girl, you need that whole book out on
I need a red flag coach.
I need the
Red flag coach.
Red flag coach.